Welcome to San Mateo County Today. Conversations with government leaders throughout San Mateo County. Here's your host, Marshall Wilson.
Welcome to San Mateo County Today. I'm your host, Marshall Wilson. We're here in Millbrae with the largest intermodal transportation station west of the Mississippi. I'll be joined by Mayor Gina Papan to talk all things transit and all things about Millbrae. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to San Mateo County Today, and we are on the road in Millbrae with Mayor Gina Papan. Gina, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for being here.
We asked where we should interview you at, and you suggested the Millbrae Cal Train BART station. Why?
Indeed. Well, you wanted a more regional perspective of Millbrae and actually all the surrounding centers. This station area is the largest intermodal station west of the Mississippi, and actually 10,000 people a day come through this station. So regionally speaking, it is very impactful to all of the surrounding cities and the county as a whole. And it is going through a lot of changes coming up.
One of those changes being the Gateway Project.
One of those changes is the Gateway Project and surrounding projects. On the other side of the station, we have another project that was just approved. So Millbrae is looking at a potential increase of some 1,200 housing units. We are a population of about just over 23,000 right now, and about 8,500 households. Same number of trees, which I thought was interesting.
Yes.
But it's a beautiful city, and yet we have all this transportation here.
It really is becoming almost an urban transportation hub here. I want to talk a little bit about the Gateway Project, which was recently approved by the City Council, which calls for several hundred new housing units, retail, office space right surrounding us. A lot of people saying we need housing, but you opposed the project. Can you explain why you actually opposed the Gateway Project?
Well, I don't oppose development. It was the way that this one project was proposed. We have developed a station area specific plan, and the goals of that plan are to have multi-use development throughout the station area, but also increasing the access and accessibility and encouraging people to use public transportation. I work in San Francisco, but yet we all know what they call the soul-crushing traffic problem these days. And my hope is that the existing infrastructure we have is public transportation. It needs to be much more seamless in giving people the opportunity and helping them take public transportation. Also, socially speaking, economically speaking, it should be accessible to everyone and affordable to everyone. And it's a problem with the entire Bay Area, not only our region but other regions, is that we have too many transit systems that are not coordinated. This station has been here since the last 15 years, yet they've done nothing to improve it or actually increase revenue. I mean, you could have had a See's candy cart in here during the holidays without building anything, and that would have increased revenue.
They don't allow that.
No. Well, it's just that they've never done it.
Got it.
It could happen. It happens at other BART stations. My objections to the proposal, and by the way, there's also a hotel proposed here, which would be beneficial to the residents of Millbrae as far as revenue goes. The residential aspect would be beneficial. There's two different residential aspects. I would have liked to have seen both be integrated. Millbrae requires 15% affordable. This proposal will be 25% affordable, but one building in particular, which is Veterans Preferred, is not integrated, and I have concerns about that. We all want housing, and particularly for our veterans, but I'm not sure the social services and the funding sources that are going to be required to bring that to fruition and a reality are actually there. I could be wrong, and hopefully will be wrong, but I had concerns. I would have liked to have seen that housing integrated with the market rate housing as well.
So overall, opposed to the project, parts of it you approve, but it could have been done better is the reason you oppose it sounds like.
Much better, because we are the transit center here. 40,000 people work at SFO right now. There is no direct train, BART train, to the airport, which is the largest regional airport, 50 million people. The only direct train is after 9 p.m. and on weekends. Now, if you go to Oakland, the connection is every 6 minutes. San Mateo County, this region deserves better. It is a top priority for the airport that their employees, they would love them to take public transportation. Yet again, it's not convenient. BART is not making it convenient. Cal Train is doing the best they can. Samtrans is now going to offer direct bus service to the airport from here, which is a wonderful addition. But I mean, we have corporate shuttles, those are great. We want to improve the quality of life for everyone in this region. This intermodal center, they're going to remove 500 parking spaces. I've always thought the idea of public transportation is that you get to the station to take public transportation. So the impact of 500 less parking spaces here, you've said yourself that you've circled around and not found anything.
All the way back down.
It's problematic, to say the least. I know we want to get people out of their cars, but accessing a station is extremely important, and some people need to ride or drive to the station. And BART actually values, if you had to replace a parking space, at $25,000. So by removing 500 spaces, I think that's a loss of $5 million in parking to a station that you'll never get it back. And as I said, high-speed rail's coming as well. Traffic on Millbrae Avenue, 101. Some people were saying as you try to get on and off of this area, this is already rated an F. So access to the station was one of my primary concerns. It still is, no matter what is developed here. We need to make it easier for people to take public transportation. So it's a deep concern that they'll be removing those 500 parking spaces and also some of the shuttle bays. Corporate shuttles are key to this region in transporting people the last mile or two to work, to either Foster City, San Bruno, or South San Francisco. It's difficult to comprehend how that is going to impact all of us. The vast majority of people that live in Millbrae have to work outside Millbrae. And then the people that are coming in shouldn't have to spend, if they're coming to San Mateo County to work, they shouldn't have to be on the road for 2-4 hours just to get to and from work. That's not a quality of life. So we really I personally would have liked to have seen a more enhanced coordination between public transportation and all the different aspects. That's what our station area specific plan was developed for. And I don't think the proposed Gateway project actually does what it should do in those areas.
One aspect I think is interesting, you talk about the station has been here for 15 years, and Millbrae is a relatively small community. But Millbrae, as you said, it's become a transit hub for the entire Bay Area. And I've been experienced much of that soul-crushing traffic out there just over there on 101. What can we do in San Mateo County to have more of an impact on the decisions that BART makes? Because we're not on the BART board. We buy into the BART system. So what can we do to make it better for us here?
I'm trying. I went to one BART board meeting, and I recently talked to one of the directors, Joel Keller, who came here and basically said their priority is the East Bay. Despite the fact that 70% of their revenue comes from ridership, and this station area is the second most used station in the entire system. So it really doesn't make sense that basically this region is ignored because they don't have a seat on the BART board. It is really tragic. We are Silicon Valley. We have Silicon Valley, San Jose down that way, all of San Mateo County, the biotech industry, and then on to San Francisco. So the opportunities are spectacular. If we could make public transportation seamless, one pass to get on anything. You see it in Europe, you see it everywhere, but yet agencies will talk to one another, but nothing happens. But now being the mayor, I guess something may happen because just Mr. Keller said, no, well, now that you're the mayor, we'll basically talk to you. Yes. SFO is very interested in improving that connection. And the future of this station area is also, by law, a high-speed rail stop. Should that ever happen, we would just like to see, regionally speaking, it's not just about Millbrae, it's about everybody throughout this entire region, making the quality of life better, getting to and from work or wherever you need to go.
Yeah, just wherever you need to go. For instance, take my daughter to softball games. I'll tell you a little bit about softball off air. And it is very difficult to get from South County to North County at commute times on a Wednesday just to play kids' sports. It literally impacts all aspects of your life.
Absolutely, and we should do better.
All right, well, we've talked regionally. Let's talk a little bit more about the city of Millbrae right now. The city experienced a very tragic fire about a year and a half, July 2016. The community center burned. Tell us about the update on the project and replacing the community center, because I know it's actually, through every tragedy, sometimes some good can come out of it. I know you've done a lot of community outreach and really trying to build community to build a new community center.
Yeah, we're looking forward to building a new community center. As you said, it was a tragedy, but it is also a golden opportunity. The building was built in the early 70s, and with our growing population, it was busting at the seams as far as use. That night or that morning, I mean, it was used for everybody. A person was going to have their wedding reception there. But tragically, that didn't happen. So we are looking for the opportunity to build something special, something bigger, something more sustainable. We're looking for zero net. We're looking something that can perpetuate some revenue as well, but cover all age groups, from seniors to daycare for children, everything. We would love to do that. We have a meeting tonight for the public to come and offer their ideas regarding design. We're looking at hopefully a 2-story building with a beautiful view, something that'll have entertaining 300 people if you wanted to have a wedding reception there. We're very excited by the potential. We have some insurance money, we have some development money that's coming in. We're looking at a price tag of about $25 to $33 million though, minus those things I just said, but fundraising in every way, shape, and form, grants, there's going to be some parks money that comes through. We're going to do our best so that it doesn't really impact the community, but it will be a wonderful project. And we, again, need to build as soon as possible because the costs of everything goes up the longer you wait.
Right, yes. And speaking of costs, infrastructure. It's one of those words that no one really wants to talk about, but it's really a big deal. Millbrae now is about 70 years old. It's now a mature community, I guess
nice
you
way
would
of
call
putting
it. Not as old as some, but it certainly needs some upgrades as far as sewer, water systems. How is your city tackling all those issues that cities really up and down the peninsula are now tackling?
All the cities, we're all having the same issues here. As you said, Millbrae is 70 years old this year. Our water pipes, our sewer system, the roads, the streets, everything. We are increasing our investment in upgrading all of those systems throughout, and it is dreadfully painful to the residents because it costs money.
Right.
But again, it gets back to the longer we wait and put off doing these things, the more expensive it gets, and it just needs to be done as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, hopefully with new technology so that things last longer. And we don't realize what's underground until it breaks.
Yes.
And you just don't want that happening in anyone's neighborhood. So we are dedicated to really investing in the future of our infrastructure, as the SFPUC is doing now with the water system, Hetch Hetchy. They keep raising their rates to cover all the improvements, and yet most of the cities did not do similarly at the same rate. So it's very painful right now for everyone, but we're committed to making it right.
Is it helpful? I'm assuming it is, that the economy right now seems to be doing very well, so I'm assuming your budget is better than it has been in years past. How do you balance taking care of those immediate needs with also looking to the future? Because we all seem to know another recession is going to come at some point.
absolutely. And each of the cities on the peninsula is different. Millbrae is about 3.2 square miles, mostly residential. We do not have a big commercial base. If you'll note, we have 2 big hotels on the other side of the freeway there and several along El Camino here. Our biggest landowner is actually the SFPUC, which is surprising, but our commercial base is small.
So the PUC is not paying you taxes, I assume.
No, they're
Yes.
not. But we have to do our best, and that was part of the developments around this station area too. We were looking for a commercial balance that would help us throughout these difficult times and raise some revenue in bringing people to Millbrae and spending a little money. We are doing okay right now. Our budget's about $68 million, but yet the revenue is still around 62. So there's a gap that needs to be addressed. We'll see. Looking forward to more improved businesses here and more exciting things happening.
So you've been on the council now for I think about 13 years, if I'm correct.
8 on, 2 off, and back again.
Okay.
So about 10.
About
It's
10
more
total.
like
Oh,
it.
right. That's a break there. What makes you essentially come back for more? Why are you here on a nice afternoon talking to us about Millbrae and taking time off from your day job, which is important as a Deputy Attorney General for the state of California, and spending those nights and weekends at meetings and poring over those exciting budget documents?
I believe in the community and giving back to the community. As an elected representative, it's not about us. It's about what we can do for our community. And giving back to the community is key. My sister and I also run a nonprofit that operates out of Daly City.
Right.
It's something that was ingrained by our parents, and you can make the biggest difference. A lot of people don't want to do that weekend homework and study up on all these plans and things like that, but really sharing as much information, being completely transparent with the public. They want to know. They just don't have a lot of time to do the same sort of things. So it's a grand opportunity to meet people throughout the city who are wonderful, and the county. And in that sense, it's just the giving back to the community is so important.
All right, we got about a minute left now.
Okay.
So what I want to hit you with is tell us 3 great secrets or 3 great things about the city of Millbrae.
Number 1, the people. We have great people, both living here, working here. Everybody in the community they have differing opinions, which is good too.
That's good.
But the people as a whole, schools. Number 2, and if you haven't heard, we have some pretty amazing restaurants here as well. So come on down, and in the future, we should have a spectacular community center. As a 4th thing, we also have one of the best libraries in the entire region. So come on down to Millbrae.
Well, that's going to be a wrap. Thank you for joining us on San Mateo County Today here in Millbrae. And thank you for joining us on San Mateo County Today. See you again.